Amanda was just 15 years old and in secondary school. Despite her father's wealth, Amanda's mother had left them when Amanda was just a toddler. Chief Edward was always busy with work, and Amanda was left to fend for herself. She lived in a mansion with her father, but it was more like a prison than a home. The house was always empty and quiet, except for the sound of the TV or the occasional visit from her father's business associates. Amanda's father was always on her case about her studies. He wanted her to be a straight-A student, just like him. But Amanda just couldn't seem to focus. She was always getting into trouble, skipping classes, and getting poor grades. Her father would yell at her, take away her privileges, and even threaten to disown her. But Amanda just didn't care. She felt like she was living someone else's life, and she didn't know how to escape. One day, Amanda's father called her into his study. He was sitting behind his massive desk, looking stern as usual. Amanda, I don't know what's wrong with you, he said, shaking his head. You're not living up to your potential. You need to buckle down and focus on your studies. Amanda just rolled her eyes. She had heard it all before. Yes, Dad, she said, not even trying to sound sincere. Her father sighed. Amanda, I'm worried about you. You're throwing your life away. Don't you want to make something of yourself? Amanda shrugged. I guess so. Her father looked at her, disappointed. I don't know what to do with you, Amanda. Maybe you need to learn the value of hard work and discipline. So, Amanda's father thought he had come up with the perfect solution to teach her a lesson. But little did he know, Amanda had other plans. Amanda had a personal driver, Mr. Johnson, who had been driving her around since she was a kid. Mr. Johnson was a kind and responsible man, who always looked out for Amanda's best interests, but Amanda had other ideas. She would often try to bribe Mr. Johnson to take her to parties and clubs, where she would hang out with her friends. But Mr. Johnson would always refuse, telling her that it wasn't safe and that her father wouldn't approve. Amanda would get angry and throw a tantrum, but Mr. Johnson would just calm her down and take her home. But Amanda wasn't one to give up easily. She started to plot against Mr. Johnson, thinking of ways to get rid of him. One day, Amanda went to her father and told him that Mr. Johnson was being disobedient and refusing to take her where she wanted to go. Her father, who always did what Amanda asked, immediately called Mr. Johnson into his office and fired him on the spot. Amanda was thrilled. She had finally gotten rid of the one person who was trying to stop her from doing what she wanted. But little did she know, her father had just hired a new driver. So, Amanda's father hired a new driver, a handsome young man named Michael. Michael was in his late 20s, with piercing blue eyes and chiseled features. Amanda was immediately drawn to him, and she couldn't help but flirt with him whenever they were alone. As soon as Michael started driving her around, Amanda began to test his boundaries. She would tell him to take her to parties instead of school, or to drive her to the mall so she could hang out with her friends. But Michael was not having it. I'm sorry, Miss Amanda, he would say, but your father hired me to drive you to school and back home safely. I'm not going to take you to parties or the mall during school hours. Amanda would pout and throw a tantrum. But Michael would just smile politely and tell her that he was only doing his job. Amanda was not used to being told no, and she found herself getting more and more frustrated with Michael's refusal to do her bidding. Despite the tension between them, Amanda couldn't help but notice the way Michael's eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled, or the way his hair curled slightly at the nape of his neck. She found herself wondering what it would be like to kiss him, and she couldn't help but feel a flutter in her chest whenever he was near. But Michael seemed completely oblivious to Amanda's feelings, and he continued to drive her to school and back home every day, without fail. Amanda was determined to find a way to get Michael to do her bidding, but for now, she was stuck with a driver who seemed immune to her charms. Amanda's principal, Mr. Smith, had been noticing her frequent absences from class. He decided to call her into his office to discuss the issue. Amanda was nervous as she sat down in the principal's office. "Amanda, I've been noticing that you haven't been attending classes regularly," Mr. Smith said, looking at her with concern. "I'm afraid I'll have to report this to your father if it continues." Amanda's eyes widened in fear. She knew her father would be furious if he found out. "Please, Mr. Smith, don't tell my father," she begged. "I'll do anything. Just name your price." Mr. Smith looked at Amanda, surprised by her desperation. He hesitated for a moment before speaking. "Amanda, I'm not looking for a bribe. But I am willing to give you a second chance. If you can improve your attendance and behavior, I won't report this to your father." Amanda let out a sigh of relief. "Thank you, Mr. Smith," she said gratefully, but as she stood up to leave, Mr. Smith's expression changed. He looked at Amanda with a newfound interest, and she felt a shiver run down her spine. "Amanda, you're a very persuasive young woman," Mr. Smith said, his voice low and smooth. "I think we can come to a mutually beneficial arrangement." Amanda's heart skipped a beat as she realized what Mr. Smith was implying. She felt a mix of emotions: fear, excitement, and uncertainty. Amanda's mind was racing as she left the principal's office. She had never thought that she would be in this situation, but she couldn't deny the excitement that she felt. She had accepted the principal's request, and now she was thinking about how to keep it a secret from her driver, Michael. Michael was a stubborn man, and Amanda knew that he would never agree to cover for her. He was too loyal to her father, and he took his job very seriously. Amanda knew that she had to come up with something if she wanted to keep her secret safe. As she sat in the back seat of the car, Amanda started to think. She knew that Michael loved his job, and she also knew that he was struggling to make ends meet. His salary was decent, but he had a family to provide for, and Amanda knew that he was always looking for ways to earn extra money. Suddenly, an idea popped into Amanda's head. She would offer Michael a deal. She would pay him a substantial amount of money every month if he agreed to cover for her. It was a risky move, but Amanda was desperate, and she was willing to try anything. As the car pulled up to the mansion, Amanda took a deep breath and turned to Michael. "Hey, Michael," she said, trying to sound casual. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" Michael looked at her in the rearview mirror. "What's up, Miss Amanda?" he asked. Amanda hesitated for a moment before speaking. "I need to ask you for a favor," she said. "I'm willing to pay you a lot of money if you agree to do something for me." Michael raised an eyebrow. "What do you need me to do?" he asked, his voice skeptical. Amanda took another deep breath before speaking. "I need you to cover for me," she said. "I need you to tell my father that I'm going to school and staying in class when really I'm doing other things." Michael's expression changed from skeptical to shocked. "Miss Amanda, I don't know if I can do that," he said. "Your father trusts me to take care of you." Amanda pulled out her purse and opened it, revealing a wad of cash. "I'm willing to pay you $1,000 every month if you agree to do this for me," she said, looking at Michael pleadingly. Michael's eyes widened as he looked at the cash. He clearly needed the money, and Amanda knew that she had him right where she wanted him. Michael's eyes were fixed on the cash, and Amanda could see the wheels turning in his head. After a few moments of silence, he finally spoke up. "Okay, Miss Amanda," he said. "I'll do it. But you have to promise me one thing." "What's that?" Amanda asked, relieved that Michael had agreed. "You have to promise me that you'll be careful," Michael said, his expression serious. "I don't want anything to happen to you." Amanda nodded eagerly. "I promise, Michael. I'll be careful." With that, the deal was sealed. Amanda paid Michael the first installment of $1,000, and he agreed to cover for her. As for the principal, Mr. Smith, Amanda had already taken care of him. She would meet him in his office every day after school, and he would make love to her in exchange for her favors. Amanda's plan was working perfectly. She would wear her school uniform from home, but as soon as she arrived at the party ground, she would change into her party clothes. She would dance the night away, and then change back into her uniform before Michael drove her home. At the end of every term, Amanda would return home with a flying color report card. Her father would be overjoyed, praising her and making promises to her. "Amanda, I'm so proud of you," he would exclaim. "You're making me proud. Keep it up, and I'll buy you that new car you've been wanting." Amanda would smile and hug her father, knowing that she had him wrapped around her finger. She was living the high life, and she knew that she could get away with anything as long as she kept her father happy. Amanda was living her best life, surrounded by her close-knit group of friends. They spent their days exploring the city, trying new restaurants, and shopping at the trendiest boutiques. Amanda's monthly allowance from her father covered all her expenses, and she never had to worry about money. However, as time went on, Amanda started to notice that her monthly allowance wasn't going as far as it used to. The prices of things seemed to be increasing, and her friends were all getting more expensive tastes. She found herself struggling to keep up, and she knew she needed a solution. Amanda decided to have a talk with her father. She explained to him that her monthly allowance wasn't enough to cover her expenses, and she asked him to increase it. Her father, who had always been generous with her, agreed to increase her allowance. Amanda was thrilled. She felt like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders, and she couldn't wait to start enjoying her new, increased allowance. But as she was celebrating, her father sat her down for a talk. "Amanda, I'm glad you're enjoying your life, but I want to remind you that your education is important," he said. "You're going to finish your university education outside the country, and I expect you to take your studies seriously." Amanda nodded, pretending to be excited about the idea. But the truth was, she wasn't thrilled about leaving her friends and family behind to study abroad. She loved her life just the way it was, and she didn't want to change it, so she smiled and nodded, pretending to be on board with her father's plans. But deep down, she was already thinking of ways to convince him to change his mind. Amanda's life was going great, until she fell ill. Her dad was worried sick and tried to call their family doctor. "Dad, I'm fine, really," Amanda assured him. "I'll just go to the hospital myself." Her dad was skeptical, but eventually relented. "Okay, but promise me you'll take care of yourself." Amanda nodded, even though she was scared. What if something was seriously wrong with her? At the hospital, the doctor ran some tests and called her into his office. "Amanda, can I talk to you for a minute?" he asked gently. "Sure, what's going on?" Amanda replied, trying to sound calm. The doctor hesitated before dropping the bombshell. "Amanda, you're pregnant." Amanda's eyes widened in shock. "What? How is that even possible?" The doctor looked sympathetic. "I know this isn't what you were expecting, but I have to ask, do you know who the father is?" Amanda shook her head, feeling tears prick at the corners of her eyes. "No, I have no idea. I don't even remember. I mean, I've been partying a lot, but I didn't think I was being reckless." The doctor nodded understandingly. "Okay, well, we'll need to discuss your options. But first, I have to ask, do you want me to tell your dad about this?" Amanda's eyes went wide with panic. "No, please don't. He'll kill me. Just tell him I have a minor illness or something." The doctor nodded discreetly. "Okay, I'll take care of it. But Amanda, you need to think about what you're going to do next." "Hi, doctor. How's Amanda doing?" her father asked, worried. "She's going to be fine, Chief Edward," the doctor replied. "She's just come down with a bad case of malaria. I'll start her on treatment right away." Amanda's father nodded, relieved. Good, good. Make sure she gets the best care possible. Meanwhile, Amanda was sitting in her principal's office, nervously fidgeting with her hands. Principal Smith, I need to talk to you about something, Amanda said, her voice shaking. What is it, Amanda? Principal Smith asked, looking up from the papers on his desk. Amanda took a deep breath. I'm pregnant. Principal Smith's expression changed from curious to shocked and disapproving. Amanda, how could you be so reckless? Meanwhile, am I responsible for your pregnancy? Amanda felt a sting from the principal's words. It wasn't intentional, sir. It just happened, Principal Smith sighed. Amanda, you're a smart girl, but you're also very flirtatious. You've been known to flirt with different men, and now look what's happened. You need to take responsibility for your actions. Amanda felt a surge of anger, but she tried to remain calm. What do you suggest I do, sir? Principal Smith leaned forward, his voice taking on a stern tone. I suggest you get rid of the pregnancy, Amanda. You're not ready to be a mother, and it will only hold you back. You need to focus on your education and your future. Amanda felt a lump form in her throat as she realized the principal's true feelings towards her. She knew she had to get out of there before she broke down in tears. Amanda sat in the doctor's office, desperation etched on her face. Doctor, please, you have to help me. I'll do anything to get rid of this pregnancy. The doctor looked at her with a mixture of concern and empathy. Amanda, I understand that this is a difficult situation for you, but I have to advise you against terminating the pregnancy. Amanda's eyes widened in panic. But why? I'll pay you anything, just please help me. The doctor shook his head. It's not about the money, Amanda. It's about your health and well-being. Terminating the pregnancy at this stage can be risky and potentially life-threatening. I won't do it. Amanda felt a wave of despair wash over her. But what am I supposed to do? My father will kill me if he finds out. The doctor's expression softened. Amanda, the best thing you can do right now is to tell your father the truth. He may be upset initially, but he loves you and wants what's best for you. He'll support you through this. Amanda shook her head, tears streaming down her face. You don't understand, doctor. My father is not like that. He's strict and traditional. He'll never forgive me, the doctor sighed. Amanda, I understand your concerns, but keeping this secret from your father will only make things worse in the long run. Trust me, it's better to be honest with him now rather than later. Amanda walked into the house, trying to put on a brave face. Her father was sitting in the living room, looking concerned. Hey, sweetie, how are you feeling? He asked, as Amanda flopped down onto the couch. I'm fine, Dad, Amanda replied, trying to sound convincing. Just a little tired, her father nodded, but Amanda could tell he didn't believe her. She quickly answered a few more questions about her health, then abruptly stood up. I'm going to go lie down, Dad. I'm really tired, Amanda said, trying to escape the conversation. Her father nodded, looking worried. Okay, sweetie. Get some rest. Amanda rushed to her room, feeling relieved to be alone. But as she lay in bed, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was in trouble. Just then, there was a knock at the door. It was Michael, her driver. Hey, Amanda, is everything okay? Michael asked, looking concerned. You've been acting strange all day, Amanda sighed, feeling a lump form in her throat. I'm fine, Michael. Just leave me alone, but Michael didn't leave. He sat down next to Amanda on the bed. Amanda, I've known you for a long time. I can tell when something's wrong. You can trust me. What's going on? Amanda looked at Michael, feeling a surge of emotions. She had always trusted him, and now she needed someone to talk to. Michael, I'm pregnant, Amanda said, the words tumbling out of her mouth. Michael's expression didn't change, but Amanda could see the surprise in his eyes. Amanda, I warned you about this. You've been partying too much, and now look what's happened. Amanda felt a sting from Michael's words, but she knew he was right. I know, Michael. I was stupid. But what am I supposed to do now? Michael's expression softened. Amanda, you need to tell your father. He loves you, and he'll support you through this. Keeping it a secret will only make things worse. Amanda nodded, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. Maybe Michael was right. Maybe telling her father was the best thing to do. Weeks went by, and Amanda couldn't shake off the feeling of guilt and shame. She knew she had to tell her father the truth, no matter how hard it was. One day, she gathered her courage and approached her father. Dad, I need to talk to you about something, Amanda said, her voice trembling. Her father looked up from his newspaper, concern etched on his face. What is it, sweetie? Amanda took a deep breath and blurted out the truth. I'm pregnant, Dad. Her father's expression changed from concern to shock, and then to heartbreak. Amanda, how could you be so reckless? What were you thinking, and who is responsible for the pregnancy? Amanda felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes as her father's words cut deep. I'm sorry, Dad. I know I made a mistake. I don't know the father of my baby, Dad, her father sighed, his voice laced with disappointment. Amanda, I've given you everything you've ever wanted. I've spared no expense in giving you the best life possible. What did you ever lack that pushed you to do this? Amanda felt a surge of anger and regret. You know what I lacked, Dad? I lacked freedom and parental care. You've been so busy traveling from one country to another, making money and building your business empire, that you forgot about your responsibilities as a father. Her father's expression changed, and for a moment, Amanda saw a glimmer of guilt in his eyes. Amanda, But Amanda wasn't finished. And what about Mom? She left me when I was just a little girl, and you never told me where she went or why she left. You just kept it all a secret and expected me to deal with it on my own. Amanda left his father and entered her room, crying. Her father followed her to her room, looked at her, his eyes filled with tears. Amanda, I'm sorry. I was wrong to neglect you and keep secrets from you. Can you ever forgive me? Amanda felt her anger and resentment melt away, replaced by a deep sadness. Dad, I'm sorry too. I was wrong to rebel against you and make reckless decisions. Can we start over and try to do better? Her father nodded, and they both hugged each other tightly, tears streaming down their faces. We'll get through this together, Amanda. As a family. As they hugged, Amanda's father pulled back and looked at her with tears in his eyes. Amanda, I want to tell you something about your mother. She didn't leave us because she didn't love us, but because she said I doesn't have time for her, just as you said, Amanda, but I regret my actions. Amanda's eyes widened in surprise. Really? Why didn't you tell me? Her father sighed. I was trying to protect you, but I realize now that I should have been honest with you from the start. Amanda nodded, feeling a sense of understanding wash over her. It's okay, Dad. I'm just glad you're telling me the truth now. Her father smiled and hugged her again. I'm glad too, sweetie. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. No matter what. We'll get through this pregnancy together, and I'll support you every step of the way. Amanda felt a surge of gratitude towards her father. Thanks, Dad. That means a lot to me. As the months went by, Amanda's father was true to his word. He supported her every step of the way, attending prenatal appointments and helping her prepare for motherhood. Finally, the day arrived, and Amanda gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Her father was overjoyed, and he couldn't stop smiling as he held his grandson in his arms. As the years passed, Amanda's son grew up, and she finished her studies and got married to a wealthy man. Her father couldn't be prouder of her, and he was happy to see her happy. One day, as they were sitting in his study, Amanda's father turned to her and said, "You know, Amanda, I'm proud of the woman you've become. You've made mistakes, but you've learned from them, and you've come out stronger because of it." Amanda smiled, feeling grateful towards her father. "Thanks, Dad. I couldn't have done it without you." Her father smiled back, his eyes shining with pride. "You're welcome, sweetie. And now, I think it's time for me to retire and let your son take over the family business. He's a smart young man, and I know he'll do great things." Amanda nodded, feeling a sense of closure. "I think that's a great idea, Dad. You deserve to rest and enjoy your retirement." Her father smiled, looking content. "I will, sweetie. I will."